this practice is a little something extra, kind of like homework for your practice. Begin seated on the floor, taking your right foot, crossing it over the left, and begin rotating the ankle around using your opposite hand, rolling around 5 times in one direction, and then going the other direction with the ankle. And then switching sides. So 5 times in one direction, and 5 times in the other direction. Getting the ankles rolling around, finding movement in the bottom of the feet. Taking a comfortable seat, beginning with some head rolls, rolling the head around in one direction 5 times, loosening the muscles of the neck, paying attention to any snap, crackle, and pops, being gentle with the movements, not trying to force anything here. And then 5 times in the other direction. Allow the shoulders to relax down the back, finding the movements flowing quite naturally. And after 5 times, begin with the shoulder movements, drawing them up towards the ears, squeezing the shoulder blades together down the back, finding a protraction and a retraction of the scapula, and then go the other direction, squeezing the shoulders up towards the ears, rounding them forward down the chest. The idea here is to start loosening up the joints of the body. After the shoulders, take the hands together, interlacing the fingers, and begin rolling the wrists around in a circle. Keep the elbows at the level of the heart, 5 times in one direction, and then 5 times in the other direction. Soft movements in the wrists, trying to keep the elbows at the level of the heart. Releasing the hands, and then tapping the hands across, rotating the trunk. Right hand taps the top of the left lung, left hand taps the base of the kidneys, and then switching, going from side to side, doing this for about 10 times. Great. Now that we're feeling a bit warm in the joints, we can come to standing at the back of the mat. For this exercise, you're going to need 2 blocks. To begin, you may need to place the blocks in the middle of the mat. You may need both blocks for this exercise. You may only need one. The idea here is to try it out the first time. You walk from standing, you lower down, walking the hands out about halfway, and then staggering the feet lower down into a tripod headstand, keeping the scapula protracted down the back. If 2 blocks is easy, try it with only 1. The hands are in tripod headstand position, shoulders protract away from the scapula, or the scapula protracts away from the spine. You may not need any blocks for this exercise, but that just makes it harder. So take the level of difficulty that you would like. Coming down halfway, then continue to walk the arms out all the way down, and a slow lower down all the way towards the floor, keeping the scapula retracted down the spine, slow lowering down. And exhale, pressing back up slowly, not trying to rush these movements, doing a shoulder tap, and then walking the hands back. And going through this again, walking the hands out about halfway, lowering down, tripod headstand, coming back up. Walking the hands out, all the way, full extension, lowering down slowly, keeping the scapula retracted down the spine. Hips and low ribs touch the ground, coming back up, and shoulder taps. Walking the hands back, and coming back up to standing. That was the second one. Third one, lowering down, walking the hands out about halfway, lowering down, tripod headstand, either to the blocks or all the way to the floor, and walking the hands out, lowering all the way down, or as low as the blocks permit. Then coming back up, doing shoulder taps, walking the hands back, two more, here we go. Lowering down, walk the hands out halfway, lower down, scapula protract away from the spine, and walking the hands out further, lowering down to the low push-up or as far as the blocks permit you to lower down, slow lowering down. Inhale, pressing back up, doing shoulder touches, and then walk the hands back. Awesome set. This is our last one. Lower down, walking the hands out, lowering down, tripod headstand, walking the hands out all the way, coming to the top of the plank position. Keep the scapula retracted down the spine, lowering down. Pressing back up. Shoulder taps here. Walk the hands back. Beautiful. Now, walk the feet towards the middle of the mat. Turning to the side. Have the feet turned out slightly. Wide distance in between the feet. And bend the knees, lowering the hips down. Trying to get the hips to the level of the knees. And then lower down towards the right knee and round down and up. And rounding through the other side. So taking the right shoulder down towards the right knee, left shoulder over towards the left knee and back up. Left shoulder down to the left knee, right shoulder to the knee, and back up. Good. Finding this motion, opening through the hips, keep sinking into the hips. By now you should feel your quadriceps active, feeling movement in the shoulders, movement through the spine. It's important that the feet are turned out in the same angle as the knees. Keep moving through, lowering, and now come to standing. Bring the feet together. And you can sit down. Here you're going to need the blocks once again, placing them just by the hips and your lat lifts. So keep the arms straight, scapula lift here, arms straight, then using the lats, press down, lifting the hips off of the ground. 4 times, 3, 4, and the 5th time, press up and lift the hips off of the ground, lowering down, getting into your serratus anterior muscles. Going through this again, 1, 2, 3, focusing on the lat lifts, 4, 5th one, lift the hips all the way up, serratus anterior lift. Keeping the arms straight, lat lifts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift the hips all the way up. Good. All right. Going for this again. Straight arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Serratus anterior lifts all the way up. Last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Serratus hold. 2, 3. Maybe the feet come off of the floor. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. Lower down. Good Lord, that was a lot. All right. Nice job there. So, if the serratus anterior lifts are too much, you can keep the feet on the floor. This is something that you're going to work towards lifting up all the way. If you get it right today, awesome. If not, keep working at it, building your practice. Come back to seated and we're going to do ankle rolls once again, getting into the ankles, moving the foot around. Keeping fluid ankles helps with Padmasana position, helps with your practice in general. Switching sides. If you'd like, you can stack the ankle on top of the knee and the knee on top of the ankle. This helps get into the hip as well. Going in one direction and then switching, going towards the other direction. Keeping the ankles warm and fluid. Bringing the feet together, Baddha Konasana. Pressing the heels together, as well as pressing the roots of the big toes together. Interlace the hands, squeezing the tops of the feet so that you keep the roots of the big toes pressing together as you bring the chest forward. Keep pressing the heels together and the big toes together and come forward. Keep extending the chest up and out rather than forward and down. The idea here is that you're working in towards your hips, trying to find some openness. And generally, the toes are apart in Baddha Konasana. Here, try to bring them together, pushing the big toes together, pushing the heels together, focusing on your breathing. Keep the chest lifting up and forward rather than coming down. And rising back up. Crossing the feet. Now sitting back in Virasana. So if it's too much to have the feet pointing back, sit up on a block. But take Virasana with wide legs. So now the knees are apart, the big toes are together. Here the tailbone tries to tuck down towards the floor. You can use the hands to support the legs and to support the torso, or you can bring the hands together behind the back, either taking the fists together or bringing the palms together and looking up. Trying to tuck the tailbone down towards the floor, feeling the lift open up out of the chest. So this is a variation that you can do. Still, if you need to, if this is too much on the feet and the knees, sit on a block. Eventually, this is where you will work towards. Maybe the hands stay at the knees the whole time, trying to help support. If you do find comfort here, it may be possible to take the hands, setting them one on top of each other, focusing on your breath. Staying here for as long as is comfortable. If this is too much, again, reposition yourself, sitting on a block, keeping the knees together. This This is just a variation that you can work towards, but it's not necessary that you do it in this position. And then come to standing. Try and straighten the legs, keeping the quadriceps active, lifting the kneecaps, straight legs, and let gravity lower the head down towards the floor, tipping the weight into the toes. Quadriceps stay active. Coming to standing. Thank you for your practice. This is just a little bit of homework that you can do in addition to your regular Ashtanga practice. I'll see you next time.